Question 4, Part A. Describe fully the single transformation that maps this shape P onto this shape Q. Well, the shapes are not the same looking, so we don't have translation. It has not been enlarged in any way, so we can rule that out. And if we were to take one of these shapes, say P, and rotate it, we will never get it looking like Q, which means that it's not a rotation. So that means that we must have a reflection. So in order to have a reflection, what we basically want to do is turn the screen around or turn the sheet around until these two look like a pair of eyes. So if we have it sideways, those two could be the eyes, there's the nose, and there's the smiley face. And so then we need to figure out where this line goes that would make the middle of the face. The following line here will be right in the middle of that face, which will be our line of symmetry. This line has equation y equals 1 because of the fact that every point on that line has a y-coordinate of 1. So our final answer here to describe this transformation. First of all, we say that it's a reflection, and then we can say in the, through the, across the, whatever. You could just put in as well, and then the equation of our line of symmetry. So that's part A. Part B, on the grid above, enlarge shape P with a scale factor of 3 with center origin. So that means that this here is our center. If we draw rays or lines connecting the following two corners, then we can extend these out, and then our shape will have to be drawn in here 3 times as big, making sure that these corners also land on the lines. Now when you do this, you've got to be careful to count how far along and how far down each of these journeys are. So going from our center of enlargement here, we're 3 to the right and 1 down for that point, which means the next one must be 3 along and 1 down. The next one must be 3 along and 1 down, giving us the following. So we will have this point and this point also being a part of this line, which I'm now going to draw in. The one that's going through this point here is quite straightforward because of the fact that it is just going along the y-axis. So I can just draw this ray down like that. I can also pick another corner and do this a similar thing. So I could pick this corner here. We are going along 2 and down 2. So I've just got to make sure that each point on that line is going along 2 and down 2, along 2 and down 2, so on and so forth, giving me these points here. And I can draw that line in also. So a little bit of insurance there. Because of the fact that it is a scale factor of 3, this distance here from our center of enlargement to the bottom left corner, that distance is also going to be 3 times as big, not just the shape. So that means that here will have to be that new corner. So 0 minus 6 is going to be this corner here that I'm making a little bit larger. This corner here that I'm now doing in blue, instead of going 3 along and 1 down, we're going to go 9 along and 3 down. No, I didn't want that to curve. I wanted to keep that curve. 9 along and 3 down. So that will make it here. And then our other corner, which I'm going to do darker, that was 2 along and 2 down. So 3 times as far now is going to be 6 along and 6 down, making this that new corner. Now technically you only need to find out one of these corners. After that you've just got to make sure that you draw the shape that you have here 3 times as big as before. So we have 3 corners already, which means we can straight away connect these like so. For the top length here, if we count how many squares or what the length of that one is there, we have 2. Which means 3 times as big is going to become 6. So that means that this top length will have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then lastly, we will connect these 2 corners, giving us our new shape. That's part B done. Part C next. We are asked on the grid above to rotate this shape 90 degrees clockwise with center 0, minus 1. So 0, 1. So 0, 1 is here. This is our point of enlargement. Now you, of course, can use your tracing paper, trace this, rotate the sheet 90 degrees, and you will find that your new shape ends up somewhere like this. So you can use your tracing paper for that, but let's just assume you didn't have it. That's how I'm going to talk through it just now. If we connect this point here to a corner of our shape like so, and I draw an L shape connecting our center to this, we have this L shape that's going 1 along and 2 up. And what will happen is that not only will the shape rotate 90 degrees clockwise, but the L shape will rotate 90 degrees clockwise, which will end up giving us a 1 down and 2 to the right. So I can go 1 down, 2 to the right, and that is going to be our new blue corner. Technically, I could do the same with other corners and rotate it. For example, it won't actually be an L shape, it's just an I, let's say. That there is 3 long. If I rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, then that's going to suddenly become 3 wide, which means that this corner here is now the new corner of that. And from here, I could technically just draw in the shape, which is actually what I'm going to do. You could rotate more points if you want, but once you get to a stage where you're happy with where your shape should end up being, then all you've got to do, that one's a bit out, then all you've got to do is actually draw it in rotated 90 degrees. So obviously this should be on the line here. This app's not letting me draw it perfectly. It doesn't ask us to label it as anything, so once we have this here, we are done.